Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. It's been a busy month for Xbox Game Pass as several games have already kind of been announced, but knowing Xbox Game Pass, that's not going to slow down at all. In fact, they just revealed the second half of May's lineup, and there are a ton of new Xbox Game Pass games to play, including several day one releases, several of which does look very interesting as well, and we'll go over all that today. Now, there's also some speculation that a PS5 first-party exclusive may be coming to the PC or maybe even possibly the PlayStation 4. Now, I'm not so sure about that one, and I'll explain why later on in the video. Per usual though, we do have a lot to talk about, including another Nintendo-related event before E3, but first, let's talk about Psychonauts 2. Some of you all may know I'm actually very excited to play Psychonauts 2, and I did help kickstart this game on Fig the day it went live. That was well before the Xbox acquisition, back when Double Fine was an independent studio and they did need help with funding. But yeah, I am a big fan of the original game, as I personally believe it is one of the all-time greats within the 3D platforming genre. It's just such a creative and quirky game. It's a really unique platformer, and I know if you're like me, then you've probably been waiting for a sequel for a very long time. Well, the good news is that Team Xbox and Double Fine is starting to ramp up their marketing for the sequel. The first game just launched into Game Pass earlier this month, the Psychonauts 2 Xbox Store page went live, and Phil Spencer even switched his Twitter profile picture to Raz from Psychonauts. On top of that, we're now also getting a deep look into Psychonauts 2, as Game Informer will exclusively cover some of its gameplay, their approach to boss battles, and we'll also be getting a sneak peek into some of Raz's new psychic abilities. So once again, it does seem like that they're prepping for an official Psychonauts 2 release date announcement. I think it's really only a matter of time. I think that there's a very real chance that this game shows up at E3 with a late June release date. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for, but I do recommend checking out Game Informer's coverage. I'm going to probably skip out on that myself because I want to go in as blind as possible without getting into spoiler territory. I mean, from what I've seen, this game looks absolutely fantastic, including the gameplay that they showed today. But if you haven't played the original before, go check it out and see why fans love it so much. Again, the original is available on Xbox Game Pass. Now, we also got an announcement for one of the most popular games of all time, Grand Theft Auto 5. GTA 5 launched back in 2013 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Then a year later, it came to the Xbox One and PS4, and then 2015, it got a PC release. Well, Rockstar will now also be bringing GTA 5 to its third generation of consoles, the Xbox Series and PS5, on November 11th. This will be an expanded and enhanced edition, and this also goes for GTA Online. And that is an added bonus for PlayStation 5 owners. If you do own a PS5, you will have access to GTA Online for free during its first 3 months. So that is a nice bonus, and really none of this is overly shocking. I mean, I know there are a lot of people still waiting for a GTA 6 announcement, but GTA 5 is still insanely successful even 8 years after its initial launch. It consistently sells well to this day, and it's managed to ship a total of 140 million units worldwide. That is truly just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's impressive when a game can sell a couple million, let alone 140 million units. If you really think about it, GTA 5 has shipped more total units than last generation's leading console, which was the PS4 at around 115 million units. Well, it looks like Rockstar will continue that success on with the Xbox Series and the PS5 as we wait a little longer for Grand Theft Auto 6. Moving on, in just a little under 1 month, E3 will be upon us, and Nintendo will be hosting their own E3 event / Nintendo Direct. That alone is very exciting, and it sounds like it might be a special E3 with some major announcements. We did talk about several Nintendo-related leaks just yesterday. However, it sounds like that might not be the only Nintendo-related event for the month of June, as insiders are now claiming that a new Pokémon Presents will take place early on in June. The well-known Pokemon insider Helios took to Twitter to say this is happening and that they will announce release dates for both Pokemon Unite and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Helios does not mention Pokemon Legends Arceus, however, so we might not see that here. Now, predicting an exact release date for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, though, can be a little harder to pinpoint. Mainline Pokemon games, including remakes, kind of release all over the place. They don't just focus on one particular month. I would say that these games could show up anywhere between September and November. I think it kind of depends on how many games Nintendo has ready for this holiday, which sounds like it could be just absolutely stacked, so if that is the case, they'll want to spread out their releases just a little bit. I personally think with this being a remake though, it would kind of be cool to get it on September 28th, which is Diamond and Pearl's 15th year anniversary in Japan. Regardless of a release date though, I do want to see an updated trailer and see if they did anything more with its art style since we last saw it. Now, I personally thought the visuals looked okay myself. It was very faithful to the original, but I know there is some hope that they've updated it since we last saw it. They could add some outlines to the character models. That could work, but another thing that I want to hear about is whether or not it has any Pokemon Platinum content. All signs point to that being the case, but we could get confirmation here at this event. As for Pokemon Unite, this is a MOBA type game built for mobile phones. That is a rather intriguing option. MOBA and Pokemon could work very well together, and if they do it right, it could really blow up in some countries. I mean, the MOBA genre is actually quietly huge in the PC and mobile phone market. So this game does have a lot of potential, and now we just kinda need to see it. Luckily, it sounds like we won't have to wait much longer. Now, we still need confirmation of this event, but if it does come to fruition, we should expect a Pokemon Presents early on in June. Let's talk about Xbox Game Pass though, as they revealed a ton of games today for the second half of May. This really is a lot of games too, with a total of 15 new entries, and they also added 7 more touch control enabled games to xCloud where you can stream to your phone. First, let's take a look at the 15 Xbox Game Pass Ultimate releases though. You have Peggle 2, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, Fusion Frenzy, Joyride Turbo, MechWarrior 5, Conan Exiles, The Catch, SnowRunner, Maneater, The Wild at Heart, Knockout City, Slime Rancher, Spellforce, Secret Neighbor, and Solasta. Yeah, like I said, a lot of games are heading to Game Pass, several of which are very interesting. There isn't some big AAA game in this lineup per se, but there are a few unique day one releases here. Now, we talked about this last week, but The Wild at Heart really stands out to me. This is a Pikmin-like game with an almost Don't Starve art style. This game clearly was inspired by Pikmin, and I'm all for that personally. Pikmin is one of the most unique games in the entire industry, and it's a lot of fun to play. So if we can get a game like that on Xbox and see a different take on that type of game, yeah, count me in for a game like that. So that will release on May 20th. You also have Knockout City, which is a fun-looking dodgeball battle royale type of game. I'm not usually into these battle royale type of games, but admittedly, this one does look like a lot of fun. I think this game could end up being a big surprise hit. We'll kind of see how its launch goes, but I could see this one being widely played as Twitch streamers start to pick it up. Those are the 2 games that I'm really looking forward to though, but even after that, you have games like Plants vs. Zombies, Peggles 2, Fusion Frenzy, and Secret Neighbor. There's just a lot here in this update, and really, the tough decision is which game will you play first. It's just hard to pick sometimes with Xbox Game Pass, and I tell you, Xbox Game Pass really does add a lot to your gaming backlog. You just can't keep up sometimes, and they definitely give you your money's worth with Xbox Game Pass. Let me know which game you want to play first though. As for the xCloud editions, you can now play Banjo-Tooie, Call of the Sea, Genesis Noir, Narita Boy, Nier Automata, Rain on Your Parade, and 2 Point Hospital. Yeah, there's some really good games in this list as well, and these games are actually available today with touch controls included. So yeah, another great update for Xbox Game Pass, and you know, you just kind of expect it by this point, but you just gotta love being a subscriber for a service like this. Now, something interesting did happen today that really has the game community wondering what exactly is happening. So let's check this out. A new Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart trailer released today. It looks amazing as usual, but that's not what everybody is talking about. Actually, right at the end when they showed the box art, it says in bold font, PlayStation 5 console exclusive. And the wording here is kind of strange. In previous trailers, it shows as a PlayStation exclusive, and by adding the word console exclusive, that implies Rift Apart could be coming to PC as well. So obviously something like this has fans speculating that really immediately I just kind of figured this is likely just a mistake. I don't know what it is with PlayStation's marketing here recently, but in the last 12 or so months they have made several mistakes like this with these end screens. This also happened with Demon's Souls and they later had to correct that. There was also some PS5 promo trailers supposedly putting release dates for games that weren't confirmed yet. Again, that had to be corrected, and now we're seeing something similar with Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So right away, I just kind of figured this was yet another mistake, but I know how the internet works. It's done too late. The mistake is out there, and the rumor will spread pretty fast. Well, we did get an update from the community director at Insomniac Games, with him simply posting on Twitter that it is a PlayStation exclusive. So there you have it. If you have heard that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart was coming to PC, that does not appear to be the case. This remains a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Sony really does need to fix this problem though. This has been happening a little too often lately with these end screens. Make sure it's correct before you publish. You don't want unneeded speculation like this as you're trying to get people to buy a new console. In other news, we need to talk about Warner Bros. Games and AT&T. So there have been multiple rumors in the last year that AT&T was looking to sell their game division, which includes several high-profile studios. I mean, you have the Mortal Kombat studio NetherRealms, you have Rocksteady, Avalanche, TT Games, and the list goes on and on. They have 11 total studios and they do have a lot of talent there. So this would be a big acquisition if they got any buyers. Well, about that, AT&T just agreed to a deal to offload Warner Bros. Games parent Warner Media, which will merge with Discovery to form a standalone company, which will be one of the largest global streaming players. Now, this does affect their game division apparently. After the initial announcement, a spokesperson told Axios that some of the gaming arm will stay at AT&T and some will go to the new company. That's really pretty much all we know about this topic as of right now. There's still a lot of questions that remain. We don't know what studios will go where and what AT&T will keep. This really has just left a lot more questions than anything. This sounds like a complicated merger and it'll probably take a long time to complete. I mean, we might be looking at 2022 until we hear all of the details. Now, there is some speculation that maybe some other game companies could get involved and maybe snatch up some of these studios. Microsoft last year was linked to a Warner Bros. Acquisition, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to hear murmurs of them being interested yet again. They always seem to be looking for talent, and if they decide to sell some of their game studios, Xbox could be one of the first publishers to look into that. We'll kind of have to wait and hear more about this situation though. All we really know for right now is that the Warner Bros. Game division will likely be split up as this deal gets completed. In the meantime, Warner Bros. Games does have several high-profile games in development, such as the Harry Potter RPG and the upcoming Gotham Knights. Again, these are very talented studios, and I will surely keep you updated with these studios as we learn more throughout the next year. On to the poll of the day, though. It looks like PlayStation will release more of their games on the PC. They do have a Steam page suggesting this is the case, and PlayStation boss Jim Ryan has alluded to this as well. So the question is, what PlayStation 4 games would you most like to see come to PC? And really, the PS4 has a ton of high-quality exclusives, so I know this decision was a little difficult. Several of you in the comments tried to cheat and say all of them, but the winner here was God of War at 37%. And okay, that is a great choice as I believe it is the perfect single-player experience. I think it's also realistic in the sense that Sony could release that for PC ahead of the Ragnarok release on consoles. It seems like they're doing something similar with Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. This does seem like a way that they can get PC players interested in said sequels on their PlayStation consoles. As for the comments though, a lot of you mentioned Ghost of Tsushima. That would be an interesting choice. That game visually is absolutely stunning, so PC players would love playing around with the graphics of that game. On the PS5, it runs amazing with a buttery smooth 60 frames per second, but I have to say for me, I'd go with Uncharted. I think the Uncharted collection would be cool to see on PC. This is one of my favorite franchises ever made, but it could kind of be like the Halo Master Chief collection for Steam. That game has had a lot of success on Steam, and I'd imagine the Uncharted collection would enjoy a lot of success as well. Regardless, I'm just happy to see Sony bring some of their older games to Steam. Really, this is a win-win for everybody. Gamers will win as they enjoy more great games, and then Sony will get more money, and they can then invest into even more great games for the PS5. So this is just a win-win for everybody involved. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.